Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of X Marathon, the series where we cover each of the X-Men movies and X-Men related movies. Just covered X-Men Origins Wolverine last video. Now we're going to be covering the next film in the Wolverine trilogy, The Wolverine. And with me today we have
Adrian.
It's Yan.
Alright, I'll say this. This film is a significant step in the right direction from X-Men Origins Wolverine. I think this is a much better film, a watchable film at that. But I do have some problems with it, but they're kind of more in the later third of the film. So we could kind of talk about some of the things I do like about this film. This film is also amongst a lot of the nerd community. We just call this Wolverine in Japan. I kind of want to hear what you guys have to say about this film because I don't have that many strong thoughts about this movie. So I kind of want to hear what Adrian, what you have to say, and Yen, if you have anything to say regarding this film.
Oh, I have something to say.
Okay.
I mean, overall, as a movie, I think it was a lot, like you said, or step in the right direction. Very solid movie compared to the last one.
Mm-hmm.
We get a lot more information on, and I guess, character development of Wolverine,
Mm-hmm.
and then a new cast,
Yeah.
and they're introduced very well. Really, not much to say except it was a super solid movie. Had a good start, good end. Can't really ask too much from it, considering what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I think overall it was just fine.
Yeah. I will say I like this film, one, because it puts Wolverine in a setting that is new to him, and a setting that really doesn't fit his character, but that's kind of what makes it interesting.
In a setting where he was killing them on the opposing side in a war.
Yeah, but he did save that one, and that's kind of the whole plot of this film. I really like the opening of the film when we basically see, well, I don't like what happened, but the bomb hit Nagasaki from the view of someone who's just there, and, we'll basically find out Wolverine is nuke proof, or atomic bomb proof at that. And I really like that opening sequence. I think it's really cool. I like getting to see Wolverine like that moment where he's all burnt and it's just all of him healing back together, and it's just this really disgusting thing that's happening. When I saw this when I was oh god, 12, I was this film's gonna go hard, and I love it. I also think this is the right tone a Wolverine film should be. It's serious, a little bit of lighthearted fun in some moments, but it has the theme of mortality. And how can someone who lives this long find meaning in life? And him, throughout the film, learning to find meaning again. At the beginning of the film, he's just a caveman chilling with bears. I guess for you guys, since you haven't seen the X-Men films, this does take place after The Last Stand, in which he kills someone he really loved. And throughout this film, you see her ghost, a memory of her constantly giving him PTSD and flashbacks.
A lot more sense because that wasn't the same girl from the other movie, so it got me really confused.
Yeah, you're who's this redhead chick?
Why does he love her now? I mean, I get the other one is kind of iffy, but
She's not Japanese.
No, but yeah, I like that angle of this film. It kind of makes stuff that happens in Last Stand have more of an impact, because at the end of that film, it ended off on this weird oh, now I'm fine. But then when you watch this film, he's no, he's not fine.
I'm fine in text. I'm fine in the mirror.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think in the mirror. Have you seen what he looks like at the beginning of this film?
Yeah.
But yeah, then he gets found by Yukio and brought over to Japan to basically say goodbye to the guy he saved in Nagasaki.
Somehow alive,
Still to this day, because at the time this film was released, it was 2013.
I mean, it's not even that. It's the fact that he escaped the well that he hid under with Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
And left that well when that was literally ground zero.
Maybe he has cancer from the radiation, but if that's the case, he
should have died.
He should have died a while ago.
A
long time ago. So they don't explain what his illness is. It's just one of those illnesses where if he gets infected by anything, he'll just keel over. The old man croaks, and Wolverine now has to protect his granddaughter Mariko from the Yakuza. Why is that so funny?
No, I'm laughing at what you said earlier, where he just croaks out, and I originally thought you said he cranked one out before he died.
Oh my god.
Well, since he decided to talk, he also had things to say about this movie. So he also left while saying that too. Would you like to explain?
Yeah, explain what you have to say about this film, Yen.
Another early 2000 film bragged by having non-Japanese character play Japanese character and Yellow Fever and White Savior.
Now that we kind of ripped the band-aid off that, I do agree that this is pretty much a white guy comes into town and saves everybody kind of film.
Oh. Sorry.
Now, to be fair, this isn't really this film's fault because this is based off a very popular run in the comics in which Wolverine does go to Japan. A lot of the characters from this film are from that specific run, just kind of moved around and their dynamic or their character motivation, but they're there in name. There's only one character in this film that is like a big name from the comics, but is not that character in this film, and that's a friend of the show, Chris. Help me pronounce this guy's name. Kenichiro?
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Silver
Samurai?
Yeah, the Silver Samurai. There's a guy in this film who's an archer. That guy is supposed to be the Silver Samurai in the comics, but they just gave that character's name to a completely random person and changed the identity of the Silver Samurai to someone else in this film. I don't know why they had to go through all those loopholes, but I guess it just fits this movie's story better. Yeah, no, I can't really deny the whole white savior thing element of this movie, even to the point where like he pretty much bangs the main female lead.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah.
Daddy died?
It should have been me, not him.
Remember when you finished this film, you said to me like, yeah, would.
Yes, sir. I won't take it back. I stand by it.
Not gonna lie, I do think there's some very attractive women in this film. Yen, you can call me out later, but for right now, I gotta say there's some very pretty faces in this film.
No, it's okay, man. Like I watch Japanese porn. I'm right there with you. But at the same time, you Western pig.
Yeah, bro. I'm like looking through the cast right now, just like Mariko's staff. Like she is hot.
Mhm.
Just a staff member, bro.
It's like, whoa, half of them are Jav actors.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord.
I'm not going there. But no, like, I think one problem I have with the film is the romance angle, and it just kind of feels there to be like, well, he's the main hero, this is the main girl. They have to hook up, right? And for me, it just comes off as, like, forced. Not in the way of, like, it's consensual, but just in, like, a story sense where, like, these two have to hook up.
I mean,
because
when I was watching it, I didn't see it because of the PTSD angle.
Yeah.
Constantly thinking of the other girl.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like,
So I didn't think it that way.
It just kind of comes across as just him trying to get his dick wet. And all right, sure. I mean, if they're both consenting adults, sure, why not? But as like from a story point of view of like two characters are supposed to like each other and quote unquote love each other, where at the end of the film you're supposed to be really upset that they're going their separate way. I don't feel that. I'm like, oh, all right, he's no longer in Japan. But I guess that reason for me is because I really don't buy their chemistry, or I don't feel like the actress who does play Mariko has all that much like charisma. Son of a
You know,
bitch.
I was there when the bombs fell. And, oh my god, that making me so horny.
Oh no. You're making this a very difficult review for me to do.
I'm sorry, I can't help it, dude. But like this Wolverine movie, okay, I'll be honest, probably my least favorite one. All I had to see was the cast members, the screenshots, and the trailer, Max. And all I'll say is that this film smelled. It's a certain smell I smell very often.
All right.
Okay, keep going.
Oh,
What
did it smell like?
No, but I do agree with your point where like it's a very valid criticism of this film, and I think this was the last film to do the whole white guy goes to Asian country or Asian anything and saves the day. Like this is the last like prominent one where it's like a big main character, and for me it's just like, I mean, one, I'm not bothered by it because I don't have much skin.
Of course, you're not.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a good point where like I don't have that much skin in the game when it comes to that stuff. But if someone tells me like they have a problem with this film, I will totally agree and say, yeah, no, that's a problem with the film. I guess if I were to like debate you on it, is that he doesn't try to become a samurai in this film. He's just Logan throughout this film. There's the one time that he actually picks up a sword. He doesn't really have any like style with it. He's just baseball bat swinging with a sword. There's no real finesse to it. If he were to actually have put on like a samurai armor or a gi or traditional robes in a fighting way, because there's a moment where he does wear robes, but it's more in like there's no clothes and we're back at her like ancestral home and this is all we have, so I have to wear this. And they make a point to show like this is how you tie it. And so I was like, okay, they're making some like effort to show like there's this cultural difference. And weirdly enough, this film, I never realized it, but it also taught me the whole like don't put your chopsticks in the rice. Because I remember one time that we had dinner with a group of friends, Yen, and I did that on accident. You guys called me out on it. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Only to find out, rewatching this movie, they have a scene directly telling Wolverine, don't do that.
You fail, Wolverine.
So I'm like, shit, I guess I just didn't pay attention.
I'm going to reiterate, I don't mind like white dudes in the Asian setting in movies. I just don't like it when it's like overtly the white savior trope. And it sounds like this isn't it with the Wolverine.
I mean, it has some elements of it, especially like when defeats the Asian villain who has like traditional like they're samurais and ninjas. Oh yeah, there's ninjas in this film.
Oh, God. Hey, motherfucker. No, all I'm thinking about is a Teen Titans Tokyo.
Logan sushi roll.
Oh my god. Just has toothpicks in it everywhere. I think one other reason to go more towards your point, Yen, is like I will say they have one actor in this film who automatically makes any film he's in better, Hiroyuki Sanada. He's in this film as Mariko's father, and there's a scene where he gets into a fight with Wolverine, and this guy in real life is like a trained swordsman. Like, this guy is the closest thing we have to a real life samurai, and he gets into a pretty cool fight with Wolverine. And to go towards your point, I think you can kind of make an argument where if Wolverine didn't have that healing factor, this guy would have killed Wolverine. But Wolverine only wins the fight because he just can take the hits. But it's still a cool scene, and it's where we get to really see Wolverine come back, because throughout most of this film, his healing factor is suppressed due to like some blonde white woman putting a virus in him. And I like those scenes where Wolverine has to kind of like adapt to now being mortal again. Because like he gets shot and he's just like, oh fuck, I'm actually dying. Like, that hurt. That doesn't hurt. Why is that hurting? I'm not healing like I'm used to. And the fights after that are a lot more tense because there's actually stuff at stake. But it also just happens in like the chase scene throughout Japan where he's running away from the Yakuza. And then throughout most of the movie, it's just kind of him recovering from that fight. And I will say the train sequence on the bullet train is really cool. I just think it's well choreographed. It's really clever, like the moments he has to fake people out when like the signs are coming by.
Oh, that was my favorite part.
That was awesome. And then they ended off with him like turning around and using the momentum to like propel himself forward into that one guy. I thought that was really sweet. That's probably the most creative action sequence we get in this film, because everything else after that is like him just swiping dudes with his claws and fighting people with swords and bow and arrows. Adrian, is there anything you want to say about this film? Because I'm talking a lot about the white savior thing, yada, yada, yada. And I kind of want to hear what you have to say about this film, because you haven't said much.
I mean, it's not their fault in the movie because you got to have communication, but man, these Japanese just like ironically have English and perfect English. Oh man, they're Japanese people who speak perfect English, so Wolverine can understand them.
Mm-hmm. No, I get you.
Common trope, but you kind of have to have communication. But oh my lord, it's seen in almost everything that's related to that same type of style.
Yeah, I will say this film kind of they are also like very rich and they own like a global company, so you can make an argument saying that they had to learn English growing up because they have different business partners to talk to. I can make that argument, but I will say again to what I said earlier, I'm not going to take away your argument when it is like, yeah, okay, this American film that takes place in Japan. All right, yeah, sure.
Oh, Wolverine. I
will say they do make an effort for when it's just two Japanese characters talking and there's no other, like Logan's not there. They do speak in Japanese.
Yeah.
They make a point to show, like, why would they speak English in this moment?
It's true. But then you also have Viper.
Yeah.
It was more undercover. Was the doctor there at the time? Pretty sure she only spoke English to the staff. So I mean, yeah, maybe she learned Japanese and was just hiding the fact. But like,
why would you hide that in Japan?
exactly.
Why would you hide that there? Of all places to hide the fact that you could speak Japanese, I don't think Japan would be the one.
Exactly. So kind of an outlier. Then there's freaking Noboru Mori, freaking Dr. Choi just randomly showing up.
Dr. Choi.
From Chicago Med, the other Chicago show.
Wait.
He was in a lot of films like Godzilla.
Oh, dude, I got him confused with Daniel Day Kim.
I mean, I think it was just funny seeing him in that movie, considering I've only seen like more his just Chicago Med stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of big named, or at least I shouldn't say big named. There's like not every popular Japanese actor is in this film, but Hiroyuki Sanada's there.
There's no Steve Aoki.
No Jackie Chan.
What?
You don't know the difference in Asians. Don't just hire any Asian person.
I do have a Vietnamese person and a Filipino talking about a movie in Japan, so...
The guy who played the Silver Samurai is literally Will Hyun Lee. He's not even Japanese.
Yeah, you're right.
Wait, don't tell me.
Yeah, his literal description says American actor and martial artist. That's all it says about him.
They don't say like where he's from.
He's Korean.
He's Korean.
He's Korean, raised in Virginia.
Dude, that's even worse. He's Korean. Oh my.
Yeah.
I almost played a Japanese dog.
His family's not happy about that.
We will not give you kimchi anymore.
I don't think it like the whole idea of him being a Korean in real life makes it better by the fact that he gets killed by a giant metal samurai. So I'm like, ooh, this doesn't sit well.
Yikes.
Yeah. Which, if we're going to talk about the giant metal samurai and the silver samurai in this film, this is kind of where I think the film kind of loses me. Where throughout most of the film, it's kind of taking itself pretty serious. It's all about building up this legend of Wolverine and how Yoshida, the grandfather in this film, kind of told his granddaughter the story about the Kuzuri, who would protect her and everything like that. And that's who Wolverine was. And so she sees him as this like folktale legend kind of thing. And I think if they were to have kept like the style of fighting we had with like the Shinjin fight, and that how that he used two swords and his kind of personal hand-to-hand combat, if they were to have done that with like how the Silver Samurai fight, I think that would have been much better of a finale and more fitting for the tone of this film. But as it is, it just comes across as like a really silly comic book thing where all of a sudden a giant Iron Man suit kind of appears out of nowhere. A Japanese Iron Man suit.
Yeah, it's more of the Silver Samurai I know, where it's just the suit, maybe some tech. Like, not a giant mech suit.
In the comics, it's just a guy who is a samurai, like a modern day samurai, who is a mutant with the ability to like charge his blade to cut through anything. So in this film, they kind of adapt that by basically saying, okay, instead of the mutant angle, we're just going to say he's made out of adamantium, the armor's made out of adamantium, and he can superheat the blade to a point that it itself can cut through adamantium and chop off Wolverine's claws. Honestly, if they were to have like, instead of the robot suit being like 15 feet tall, bring it more down to like 6 foot tall, kind of like an Iron Man height, I think that would have been more personal and interesting for me. But as it stands, it just comes across as just, oh, Wolverine's fighting a Transformer now. It's not really that interesting to me.
Welcome to Attack on Titan, bitch.
And also one other thing I have to say about this ending fight scene. Wolverine, put your damn claws away. Because they make a point that to get the like bone marrow out of him, they have to chop off his claws and dig into his bone stumps. So throughout this entire fight, he has his claws out, even after a set of his claws gets cut off. You know what I mean? So I'm just thinking to myself, like, why don't you just put them away? And you could be like, well, maybe the machine that he was in before has them in place now, so he can't retract them. But I would say no. There's a moment where he's holding the sword and the claws are not there. So I'm like, he could put them away. He's only keeping them out so that we could keep the story going of, oh shit, he lost his claws. Yeah, I don't know. It's just when things happen in like movies just for the story to go on and it's like completely like dumb character decision, I just have to point them out. I think that's just really dumb. But other than that, that's all I really have to say about this film. You guys made some great points regarding like the whole white savior angle, which I totally think is valid. So yeah, that's really all I got to say about this film. Do you guys have anything else to say before we wrap this up?
Not for me.
No, on my end, probably not.
Okay. Well, I will point out one thing before we go. If you want to see a Wolverine in Japan thing that's actually pretty decent, there is a Wolverine anime that kind of adapts more of the Wolverine in Japan stuff, a little bit more interesting. It's a TV show. It was a series that ran on G4 that when Marvel was doing a bunch of like anime related things. There was like an Iron Man anime, an X-Men anime, and then a Wolverine anime, and I think a Blade anime as well. So if you want to check something out, check out that anime. It's pretty cool. I haven't seen it incomplete, but I've seen some things that are pretty cool from it. Other than that, that's all we got to say about the Wolverine. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about this film, if you disagree or agree with us. If you like this video, hit the like button. Subscribe to our Patreon. We're going to have more X-Men videos coming out in the future. Just a couple days, we're going to be talking about probably the best film in the X-Men franchise, Logan. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, guys, you want to say your names before we close this one out?
Yep, it's Jan.
And it's Adrian.
All right. I'm Max, and hope you have a good day. Bye.